there's no passion. As in, you can't do it normally in the safer way or doing it risky at what Dana Terrace have been doing with Knights of Guinevere and with her last show, The Owl House, which Disney had put roadblock after roadblock, but also restrictions and so much mistreatment towards her to the point that just by witnessing what she accomplished in Knights of Guinevere is still not going to get the attention from these people. And it's really sad considering that Knights of Guinevere has been reaching 12 million viewers, and yet when Dana describes Frankie's character being non-trans, it caught the attention of so many people that they call Dana transphobic and they are willing to cancel Knights of Guinevere because of it. This is where the passion that you have just instantly dies. It just instantly gets lower and lower because of stuff like this. And in all honestly, the fact that Knights of Guinevere isn't even 2 weeks old and we still have this type of stuff still happening sums up a lot that the passion that Dana has, especially with full control of this show. Well, granted, there are two other people who helped her who also had their own ideas. But considering that Dana is getting most of the attention this way, it's just annoying to witness the trends online when it comes to Twitter, where you see Knights of Guinevere and you expect something positive, but then you get this. And I've been witnessing less positivity because of stuff like this, and it's getting really, really repetitive. For someone who reacted to the pilot, I can say for a fact that I thought that Frankie was a boy because she didn't had any eyelashes, which is what a girl usually needs. And while yes, there are other girls who don't have eyelashes, most of which are tomboys, but considering that this is the biggest reason onto why people really want Knights of Guinevere to be cancelled or not being renewed for more episodes, it's ridiculous. Like, it's not helping anyone, to be perfectly honest, if they succeed on having the show canceled. It's just going to have a crowd of people just instantly being so upset to the point that, while the cancellation of the Owl House is still worse than this type of cancellation would be extremely devastating and honestly more stupider than the Owl House's cancellation. Honestly, I'm never part of the LGBTQ community, especially since that I'm having thoughts or second thoughts on doing LGBT month again next year. But at the same time, when I did it in 2022, it's me just supporting people who are actually taking pride into it. And truth be told, I would never call someone transphobic. And experiencing what that felt when it comes, not really experiencing what that felt, but mainly experiencing what people felt when they're getting called like that, honestly, it took a while for me to adjust it because it was years before I did LGBT month, but at the same time, it was a work in progress. But if these people who are older in their 20s like me, and they are still in that state of being in this position, then that just shows that they just don't care about passion, that they just never care about passion whatsoever, and this whole woke thing is really ridiculous and idiotic to the point that it's just becoming more overrated with each year that passes. And truth be told, while I never had the same reactions of what other people reacted when it comes to the premiere of the pilot of Knights of Guinevere, at the very least, if they're really thrilled to see what Dana can do that Disney couldn't allow her to do, then that sums up a lot that Glitch Productions is literally doing something right for the people who are really passionate in animation. But at the end of the day, even when you have the most passionate and the most creativity to showcase, you're just unimmune to stuff like this. It's really ridiculous that Dana is being described as transphobic despite the fact that she has worked so hard in order to have that kiss between Luce and Amity from the Owl House happen. And I ship the two a lot, and that kiss was really amazing. And truth be told, it's really depressing on the fact that the odds were against her while making that show, while the odds here are just extremely unfair to the point that it's downright ridiculous that if there's going to be a kiss between the main characters, mainly Annie, which I think that's her name, I forgot the other character's name, and Frankie, then honestly, I wouldn't be all in on it, but at the same time, I wouldn't call out Dana or anyone else transphobic. And it's just ridiculous on the fact that people are just continuing to do this. And yet, if these are the same people who enjoyed The Owl House, honestly, the hypocritical side is getting done to death because people have been really hypocritical to stuff like this, and it's getting really, really, really old and almost to the level of immaturity and really beyond unpassionate about anything. So it just makes me convinced that if there are people who never watched The Owl House and still called Dana for being transphobic, I would still call them terrible people, but not really terrible people, but really ungrateful and mostly toxic people. But it's just not worth being freaked out about. In all honesty, the times that I've seen these in normal communities that are being the most healthiest, then I'm pretty sure that people are just going to go through this again and again and just learn it the unfair way. And I'm not saying the hard way because Dana doesn't deserve any of this. And the fact that people really want this show to be cancelled, but some fans who enjoyed this in The Owl House didn't want The Owl House to get cancelled and have an actual third season, then honestly, what is literally the point of watching or doing anything that you're passionate about when stuff like this just keeps happening over and over again, and you just keep getting pushed down or kicked to the point you just don't even have any purpose and to continue something that you're passionate about. And witnessing this over and over again has been affecting me personally to the point that it's becoming really, really impossible to take passion seriously. Like, earlier in this decade when I watched The Owl House, I really wanted more out of it because it felt something that I really would get into it more and more if it gained more attention. And then when people will complain on the fact that that show isn't getting renewed for an actual third season, then I was on their side because it did show that the community itself, whether it's the Owl House or the animation community, can easily come together in a way where we can show support and passion. But when 2 years or 2.5 years after The Owl House ends and this came out, and when Dana expressed that Frankie isn't trans, I really, I just hate it. Like, I hate going through this motion and again to the point that my passion and impressions of cartoons like The Owl House have been a waste of thought. Granted, I still like the Owl House, but at the same time, I just don't rewatch it as much as other cartoons or shows. It's more of a reason onto why that when you have a comfort show, stuff like this just instantly becomes a dark cloud that just destroys your comfort. That's just basically what makes this entire system really ridiculous, to the point that either making an episode out of it or a story out of it, or in this case a fanfic, isn't going to draw that message across. And it's more of a reason onto why that doing any of those things is it just makes it feel less impactful. If you manage to do everything right, not really everything right, but mostly the biggest elements right, with some mistakes that don't have a problem in the story that you make, there's a reason that I'm becoming more or less active when it comes to doing videos, and regards of my future projects being my main factor as of now. Honestly, reviewing Knights of Grenville and just thinking about this for a second is a dark cloud that I'm so sick and tired of going through over and over and over again, to the point that if I'm just going to have no reaction or no emotions whatsoever when it comes to this, then honestly, that's just gonna make the people who called Dana being transphobic the winners in this case. And truth be told, we're not going to be winners. Granted, this entire argument is really a waste of time, but thinking of how every time I witness problems in the community, back then they were new and something that I took in face value, but at this point this isn't face value, this is just redundant drama that is just becoming so done to death that I would be surprised if we actually ignore these people and see how they will react if no one is reacting to them. Because if they just end up going through the next thing to cause drama, then they clearly don't even know the damage that they're causing, to the point that it just kills drama, it just kills passion. Regards of all this and me reconsidering on doing LGBT month next year, I'm still going to react to the next episodes of Knights of Grenville if the show gets renewed. Because as of now, making this video is mainly a wake-up call if anyone is clearly not aware of any of this, and how it's damaging passion and creators who have full control of what they want to explore. And at the end of the day, you being a winner, if you make material like this, isn't going to satisfy yourself if people like these call out you for being transphobic. At this point, when every other community is like this, then it's making me convinced that no other community is as worse as the other, unless when it comes to people committing suicide or mainly harming individuals, because that's literally the only elements that I can think of a community being worse than others. But when it comes to stuff like this, it's ridiculous that we just throw away the positives, because there's too many to consider which community is the worst. And truth be told, it's better to not have negativity if you can't have positivity over that.